Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Plan B Success, Episode 8. Today, we are going to discuss the concept of planning. As the old adage goes, plan your work, work your plan. I'm sure most of you have heard of this. This is a pretty famous quote out there that you need to be able to plan your work before you can work that plan in order to get to the goal that you need to. The dictionary definition of planning is it's a process for creating plans, or a plan by itself is a detailed proposal for doing or achieving something, an intention to act. That's what a plan is all about. No matter what kind of work you do, whether it's in your professional work or any personal work that you need to get done, or a hobby that you're pursuing, you need to be able to plan, and you also need to be able to work that plan in order to achieve it. What I'm going to do today is talk through certain tenets that are very helpful in this whole planning process, not so much to plan better, but so much as to make sure that you reach your end goals no matter what. The first and the foremost thing that's very important with planning is the idea of visualizing. You need to be able to visualize what you would like to do at the end of that plan. Whatever your goal is, whatever you're trying to achieve, you need to be able to visualize that in order to make sure that you can feel it, you can sense it, and you can see how real it can be once you get to that end goal, once you get to that destination. You need to visualize it, you need to feel it, to say once you've achieved your goal, what does it feel like? What is your expectation of it? Visualization is a technique which takes you to the point of reaching your goal and helps you experience what it would be like to have achieved that particular goal. That's why it's so important. It might look funny in some instances, but it is a very important motivational tool that helps you experience your end goal and the achievement of it, and as a result, it prods you, it motivates you to work towards it. It's also important to build affirmations. You need to keep telling yourself that you can do it. You need to keep telling yourself, your team that works on these plans, that you all can work together in order to achieve those goals. Affirmations are very important in order to ensure that you believe in what you're doing, and when you believe in what you're doing, you're easily able to achieve it. Generally, plans are built looking at the end goal and saying, okay, we need to get there. How do we get there? And then you build a plan. Here are the steps to get there. You have to do it in reverse order in order to have an effective plan of getting to your visualized goal. If you have a goal and you have visualized that you're going to get there, you know exactly what you're trying to get. And from that point onwards, you got to build your plan backwards. You got to build your plan backwards to your current time so that you have a perfect plan that, if executed, will get you to where you need to be in terms of your goal. So always build plans from the goal standpoint all the way backwards to your current times. And break any plan into small manageable tasks. No plan can be achieved when you look at the expanse of it. It might be a lofty goal that you're trying to get to. It might be a large plan that needs to get executed. It might require a lot of tools, techniques, processes, and people involved. And all of that can be pretty daunting. And in order to ensure that you have grasp on your plan and the confidence of not just yourself, but the team that's acting on the plan, to ensure that they understand that it's manageable, it can be done, it's important to break any plan into small manageable pieces. Another thing, have earnestness to get to that goal. Be excited about the goal. Build that excitement not just in yourself, but the team that's working on that plan as well. Have that excitement that you all want to get to that goal as soon as you can. This will help fire the determination in all the people that are working on the plan in order to get to that plan. At the same time, having earnestness is great in terms of pushing and being motivated, being fired up with determination to execute the plan. But any plan also requires perseverance, patience in order to do it right. Patience is so key in the execution of any plan because you want to do it right. You want to make sure that you reach your goals right. You want to make sure that the plan is watertight. All and every single aspect has been thought through. All the details have been flushed out, and then make it ready for flawless execution so that the goal achievement is complete. That's why that perseverance, that patience is also needed, because no lofty task, no lofty goal can be achieved without patience, no matter what you do. I'll give you an example. Recently, I've written a book that's called My Inspiration, Quotes That Shaped My Self-Improvement Journey. I recently published this book and it's available on Amazon worldwide. This is a collection of quotes that I have come up with or that I have written over the last 5 to 6 years. Now, I've worked on it over the last 5 to 6 years, and at different points in time doing different things, I've done different things, and as a result, this is basically an iteration or a reiteration of what I was doing right and how I was doing it and how I should be motivated back to myself. So these quotes are from my own experiences, not just to give a quote to somebody, but these are my experiences over the last 5 to 6 years boiled down into the form of these quotes. So it's a labor of love. 5 to 6 years is what it took to get it all done, and today it's taken the form of that book. If I did not have the patience, and if I sat down right now to write about 650 plus quotes, which is what this book comprises of, imagine that. Would that be possible? Not at all. But the 5 6 years, the culmination of those experiences is those 650 plus quotes which are in that book now, and that's my gift to the world so that anybody could share my experiences or gain from my experiences and use it for their own lives. That's what this book is about. Having talked about perseverance and patience and how it's very key in order to achieve any large goal, the next thing you have to remember is the goal that you're trying to achieve, your name and reputation are tied to this goal. That's what is at stake. And that's why it becomes so important for you to get it done right. So while you have the earnestness, it's also important to have the patience in order to go through the entire process to get to that goal. Another example I'd like to give is if you're out job searching, there are two ways to go about it. You have your resume, you know broadly what kind of a role you can play and what kind of jobs you want. And you can blindly go about applying to every job that kind of falls into that criteria that you have for yourself and send the same resume over again and again and again. You could have applied to thousands of jobs. What do you think is going to happen? There's a very flimsy chance that you might get a few interviews, but the success ratio is going to be pretty low. But imagine this. You go through a couple of job descriptions, you decide which ones you want to apply. Let's say even if it's a handful, even let's say it's a dozen jobs that you look at, and you determine half a dozen of them suit your criteria. And now what you can do is you can tailor your resume in order to reflect what the job's asking, and of course purely based on your experiences, and then send it out. What are the chances that you're going to land an interview? And what are the chances that you'll do well in that interview? Because you have taken the time to go through the job description, to understand the role, to understand the company, and now you can apply your experiences back to that role and make it happen for yourself in that interview. That's another example of whole earnestness and perseverance aspect of planning and execution. Breaking work into manageable pieces, like I talked before, is important in order to ensure that no one feels that these tasks are unsurmountable. Working any project, let's say a professional project, generally they're very complex projects requiring a lot of people to work together, and it's important to ensure that the work breakdown structure is there, the tasks are broken down, the right roles and responsibilities are set for people so that they can start using that plan in order to execute. When things are broken down in small chunks, they're manageable, and they also give you the confidence that things can be done. And you don't have to worry about the large goal anymore. You just have to worry about that next step, that next task that you got to do, because all you have to do is keep doing that and keep doing those tasks. And before you know, the end goal is achieved. Even the best plans may not stick to structure. Just because you have planned something, would you expect it to go the way exactly it's planned? People say, man proposes, God disposes. That's exactly what's in play here. So, although you might expect things to go a certain way, there's no rhyme or reason that suggests that they will go that way. That's why when you plan, you try to take care of all the ifs and buts and all the different scenarios, but even the best laid plans may not stick to the same structure you put together at the beginning of the process, because as time passes by, circumstances change, and as a result, there might be changes that need to happen to the plan as time passes by. It's important to build the bandwidth for these changes. It's important to expect them in your planning process. But this definitely does not mean that you need to deter from your end goal. You definitely do not need to deter from your end goal. You just need to be prepared of alternate methods of reaching that goal. There are two choices you can make when your plan doesn't go accordingly. You have a plan in place. If it is not as expected, there are two things you can do. One is you can accept defeat, or you can be determined and go at it in order to ensure that you reach your end goal. What would you do? Which direction would you take? Think about it. And once you've reached your goal, please do enjoy your success, for you deserve it, and it's all yours once you have realized your goal. I hope this is useful information that you're finding in this podcast. And if you do like what you hear, go ahead and subscribe. And if it's useful, go and tell someone else so that they may benefit from it as well. Thank you.